I've said quite a few times on this channel that I personally think, in my personal, honest, just me, not trying to get sued opinion, is that Lil Durk is perhaps cooked. He is perhaps overly cooked. He's perhaps grilled, charbroiled perhaps. But realistically, a lot of people think that I'm capping. A lot of people think I've got the wrong opinion.
The courtroom is shaking. The internet is in complete shock. And hip-hop culture is staring at one headline it never thought it would see, even in its wildest imagination. Because in this insane, over-the-top, movie-level what-if courtroom scenario we're breaking down tonight, the story spreading across timelines is simple and savage. Lil Durk just killed the main witness in court. Not in real life, not in an actual case, but in the wildest fan theory, leak-fueled, conspiracy-soaked dramatization the internet has ever created. And the way this story plays out in people's DMs, Discord servers, and private group chats? It's darker, louder, and more chaotic than anything you've seen in a rap documentary. Picture it. A packed federal courtroom. Cameras banned but phones hidden everywhere. The main witness finally takes the stand, ready to end Durk's career with one testimony. The judge leans in. The jury is locked. The air feels like it's made of electricity and secrets. And then, according to the insane, leaked voice notes racing through social media, Durk snaps. The whispers say he stands up, looks the witness dead in the eye, and does something so shocking, so final, that people are calling it the most brutal courtroom moment in hip-hop history. Screenshots, insider text messages, and fake but realistic audio clips are flying around faster than anyone can verify them. Fans are crying, haters are celebrating, celebrities are posting cryptic reactions, and the line between reality and rumor is completely gone. And if you think the first version of this story is crazy, wait until you hear what the second witness did next. The moment the doors to courtroom 4B swung open that morning, the air felt wrong. Too heavy, too quiet, too charged. People whispered that they felt something crawling under their skin, like the walls themselves were holding their breath. The judge wasn't even in the room yet, and already TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and half of YouTube were tracking every second of the trial like it was the Super Bowl of destruction. And the reason? The main witness, the one prosecutors said was going to end Lil Durk's freedom for good, was scheduled to testify. This was supposed to be the day everything shifted. The day secrets surfaced. The day someone finally revealed the truth about the alleged plot, the alleged betrayal, the alleged bounty. But nobody, not even the prosecutors, could have imagined how violently everything would collapse the moment he opened his mouth. Reporters leaned over their desks. Fans packed the gallery. Even the guards seemed nervous. And then, like a villain entering a movie scene, the witness was escorted in, eyes darting, hands shaking, suit wrinkled like he hadn't slept in weeks. People swore he looked terrified. But what really set the internet ablaze was the way he refused to look in one direction. He never glanced toward Durk. Ever. Not once. Not even when his own lawyer whispered something in his ear. It was like Durk's presence burned a hole in the floor. Meanwhile, Durk sat there too calmly, too still, like he had already seen this moment before, like he already knew how this entire day would end. He didn't blink, didn't shift, didn't flinch. He stared straight ahead with a look so unreadable it became a meme before the trial even ended. People online called it the Durk death stare, and fans swore it was the coldest expression he'd ever shown in public. Then the witness took the stand, and everything cracked open. His voice trembled at first, the kind of trembling that makes the whole room lean in. He said he wanted to tell the truth, that his conscience wouldn't let him stay silent, that he owed it to the victim's family. But within minutes, his story broke apart like glass. He contradicted himself. He forgot details. He suddenly couldn't recall conversations he had sworn to remember in earlier statements. Jurors exchanged glances. Prosecutors panicked. The judge leaned forward with irritation dripping from his eyebrows. And Durk? He didn't move. Not even a breath. But then the witness said something nobody expected. Something that sent shockwaves through the gallery, the courtroom, and every device watching the live updates. He said, "Someone threatened me before I came here today." Silence. Then the witness's hands started shaking harder. He reached under the table, pulled out a crumpled piece of paper, and unfolded it with trembling fingers. He said someone left it under his hotel door at 3 a.m., and the moment he began reading it aloud, the courtroom fell into a nightmare. The message said, "You know too much. You say the wrong thing, and you won't walk out." The gallery erupted, people gasped, lawyers objected, reporters sprinted out to tweet. The judge hammered his gavel so hard it sounded like a gunshot, and Durk finally lifted his eyes to look straight at the witness for the first time all morning. That stare alone broke the internet. The witness froze mid-sentence. Froze like a man looking at the one face he never wanted to see. His voice cracked. He stumbled. He lost his train of thought. The prosecutor begged him to continue, talking to him like a mother calming a child. But then, somehow, impossibly, he made it worse. He said the message wasn't the only thing he found. He reached back under the table, pulled out a flash drive, held it up like it was radioactive, and in a terrified whisper, he said, "There's a video. I wasn't going to show it, but..." Chaos. The prosecution jumped. The defense objected. The gallery screamed. But the witness kept talking like he had finally snapped. He said the flash drive was slipped into his pocket by someone wearing a hoodie in the courthouse lobby. He said the video inside showed something shocking. Something that proved everything prosecutors were claiming. Something that would destroy Durk's entire defense. People begged the judge to make the video public. Twitter Spaces started erupting with theories before anyone even knew what the footage was. Durk caught in 4K trended instantly. YouTubers started recording emergency live streams. And inside the courtroom, the witness shakily plugged the flash drive into the evidence laptop. The screen lit up. The sound was glitchy. The video was timestamped at 2:46 a.m. It showed a dimly lit hallway. Too dim, too eerie. The camera was shaky, like someone was hiding behind a cracked door filming in secret. And then a shadow moved across the screen. Slow. Heavy. The witness gasped loudly enough that microphones caught it. Someone in the gallery screamed. Prosecutors leaned forward. Then the shadow stepped closer. Everybody saw the figure. Everybody. And the witness whispered, "That's him. That's..." The lights went out. Total blackout. Phones lit up instantly. People screamed. Guards rushed in. Someone fainted. The judge yelled for order in the dark. And in the chaos, someone swore they heard a crash from the witness stand. When emergency lights finally flickered back on, the entire courtroom erupted with horror. The witness was no longer sitting. He was on the floor, shaking, gasping, his chair overturned, his lawyer screaming for medical help. And Durk? Durk was still sitting perfectly still, staring straight ahead like nothing had happened. Reporters went feral. Twitter went nuclear. Instagram broke under the weight of meme pages. Rumors exploded instantly. Durk did something. Durk triggered the blackout. Durk stared the witness into collapsing. Nobody knew what actually happened, and nobody cared. The narrative had already taken on a life of its own. But the biggest twist? The flash drive was gone. Vanished. Not in the laptop, not on the floor, not in the witness's pocket, not anywhere. Someone took it in the dark. Someone who knew exactly what they were doing. And when security footage was reviewed, that part was so shocking, so unbelievable, so utterly insane. The court sealed the tapes immediately, leaving the world wondering, who took the evidence? What was really on that video? And how did the main witness collapse the moment it played? Nobody had answers. But the next leak would drag the world into a deeper nightmare. The moment the flash drive vanished, the entire courthouse turned into a war zone of whispers, screams, and frantic accusations. Reporters ran outside to call their studios. Security sealed the exits. The judge demanded everyone sit down immediately, which only made the chaos louder. People swore the blackout wasn't an accident. Some insisted they saw a figure run behind the benches. Others said the witness didn't just collapse, someone pushed him or slipped something into his water. The conspiracy wildfire spread so fast it felt like the walls were melting. And in the center of it all, still sitting with that eerie, frozen calm, was Lil Durk. Not blinking. Not asking questions. Not reacting like a man watching his trial crumble apart. He looked like someone who knew exactly what had just been taken, and exactly what it meant. Outside the courthouse, thousands of fans had gathered since early morning, holding signs, chanting, live streaming, praying, screaming. When the news broke that the witness collapsed and the evidence disappeared, the crowd surged toward the steps like a tidal wave. Security guards screamed at them to move back, forming a human wall to stop fans from crashing into the entrance. Phones were raised in every direction. The internet exploded with the headline nobody believed was real. Main witness goes down in court, evidence missing. But inside the courthouse, things were getting darker by the second. 3 guards lifted the witness from the floor, but he twisted away like he didn't want anyone touching him. His eyes were wide, bloodshot, terrified. He kept whispering, "Don't let him look at me again. Don't let him look at me. Don't let him." But nobody could figure out who him was. Some assumed he meant Durk, others believed he meant someone else entirely, someone he saw before the lights went out. One of the jurors stood up abruptly and shouted, "This trial isn't safe." Before fainting, they had to be escorted out on a stretcher. Another juror demanded to be removed from the case, saying they didn't sign up for supernatural intimidation. It sounded insane, but the energy in the room was so unhinged that nobody blamed them. Then the judge slammed his gavel so hard the wooden block cracked. He ordered the courtroom into recess and demanded all electronics be confiscated. But it was already too late. Hundreds of illegally recorded clips from inside the courtroom were already circulating online, each one showcasing a different angle, a different scream, a different distorted frame of the mysterious video before the blackout. People began trying to piece the snippets together. TikTok detectives slowed the video fragments frame by frame. Reddit threads suggested the shadowy figure wasn't Durk at all but someone taller, someone broader, someone wearing a hoodie with a symbol none of the fans recognized. Another user claimed they enhanced the screenshot and saw 2 figures in the video, not one. But the craziest theory came from a blurry still image pulled by a random burner account. In the middle of the frame, directly behind the shadow figure, was something that looked like a second flash of movement. Not a person, not a reflection, something like a hand reaching for the camera. The internet spiraled into madness. Meanwhile, back inside the courthouse, prosecutors demanded an investigation into the blackout. They claimed someone hacked the courtroom power grid. The defense said the witness staged the entire thing to avoid cross-examination. Security insisted a fuse blew, but a clerk whispered that she saw a figure crouching near the evidence table seconds before the lights cut out. A figure dressed in black. A figure she swore wasn't a security guard. This leaked quickly and created the biggest online explosion of the day. Fans began dissecting still shots from the courtroom surveillance cameras that somehow escaped before the judge sealed them. Commenters were circling different unknown shapes in the background like it was a paranormal investigation. But while the world argued over shadows and theories, a far more explosive twist came from deep inside the courthouse. Because the witness regained consciousness, and the first thing he asked was, "Did he get it?" Reporters overheard the paramedics repeating, Who got what?" But the witness refused to answer. He started crying hysterically, gripping the railing as if falling back into a nightmare. Over and over, he kept muttering, "I shouldn't have opened it. I shouldn't have shown it. He told me never to show it." This was the moment everything changed. Because suddenly, the blackout wasn't the biggest mystery anymore. It was the flash drive. What was on it? Who recorded it? And why was the witness so terrified of whoever he was? Things only got worse when a courtroom tech specialist made a shocking announcement. The flash drive didn't just disappear. The laptop showed signs of a remote override. Like someone accessed the system during the blackout. Someone with access to encrypted devices. The judge ordered a full forensic investigation, but an anonymous clerk leaked something even more outrageous. The courtroom's emergency backup power wasn't supposed to fail. Someone manually triggered it. Now every celebrity in hip-hop was posting cryptic reactions. One rapper tweeted, "Told y'all the industry is deeper than the music." Another wrote, "Dark forces moving today." A producer claimed he got a warning call, telling him to stay away from the courthouse. Even Durk's rivals started insinuating that people close to him were behind the chaos. But the most shocking twist came from a private message leaked moments later by a user named CourtInsider77, an account brand new with no history. The message claimed that the witness wasn't supposed to testify that day. That another witness, one with far more damaging information, was supposed to take the stand first. And that the person on the flash drive wasn't Durk at all. It was the second witness. A man prosecutors thought had fled the country. A man nobody had heard from in months. A man who knew things the main witness didn't. According to the leak, the second witness recorded the hallway video the night he disappeared. The internet erupted again. People demanded answers. Prosecutors refused to comment. Defense lawyers issued emergency statements. Fans begged for the video to be released. But nothing, and I mean nothing, hit harder than what happened next. Because after hours of chaos, accusations, and panicked social media spirals, a brand new anonymous account posted a single message on X. "I have the flash drive." The post included a blurred thumbnail of the hallway clip and a timer. Counting down. 48 hours. Until the world sees everything. The internet detonated. And in the courthouse, someone said they saw Durk finally react. Not with fear, not with anger, but with the faintest hint of a smile. What does he know? What is on that flash drive? And why does the countdown feel like a warning instead of a release? The answer would only be revealed in the next wave of chaos, when the second witness returned. The countdown shook the world. 48 hours. That was all the anonymous account promised before the truth dropped, and the internet reacted like someone had announced the end of civilization. Fan pages started ticking down the minutes. News networks ran emergency updates. Podcasts launched Flash Drive Watch. Every major hip-hop blog plastered the timer on their homepage. Even celebrities who usually avoided drama started posting cryptic warnings like they were preparing for a meteor strike. But inside the courthouse, it was much worse. Prosecutors were panicking, whispering that the leak could compromise the entire trial. Defense attorneys demanded mistrials. Jurors begged to be dismissed. Security doubled their presence. The judge threatened to hold half the gallery in contempt if anyone mentioned the timer again. But nobody cared. The courthouse had turned into a theater of paranoia. People swore the second witness thought to be missing, hiding, or dead was actually in the building. One clerk claimed she saw a man in a gray hoodie slip into a restricted hallway. Another said she heard two guards arguing about a visitor with no name. Someone else swore they heard whispering inside an empty room. But the scariest rumor came from a janitor who said he heard someone crying in the bathroom, repeating, "I didn't mean to record it." No one knew what he looked like. No one had seen him in court. But everyone knew his voice from the leaked hallway video. The second witness wasn't gone. He was here. And the flash drive wasn't just evidence, it was bait. Hours passed. The pressure grew unbearable. Durk entered the courtroom for the afternoon session, looking calmer than anyone expected. Too calm. Almost relaxed. He scanned the room slowly, and the moment his eyes swept the gallery, two people actually flinched. The energy had shifted. Everyone could feel it. Then the judge took the bench and announced something no one expected. A new witness has agreed to testify. People screamed. Phones slipped from hands. Court marshals rushed forward to quiet the room. And then, the doors opened. He walked in. The second witness. No hoodie. No disguise. Just a man who looked like he hadn't slept in a month. Eyes sunken. Jaw clenched. Hands trembling. People whispered that he looked haunted. like someone dragged him out of a nightmare and dropped him right into the center of the storm. He didn't look at the prosecutors. He didn't look at the judge. He didn't even look at the first witness, who sat wrapped in a blanket, terrified. He only looked at Durk. And Durk didn't break eye contact once. The silence in the room was suffocating. The second witness sat down, took the oath, and before anyone could ask a single question, he said, "It wasn't supposed to happen like that." The courtroom imploded. The judge demanded order. The prosecutors begged him to slow down. The defense objected violently, but the witness kept talking. He said he hadn't disappeared, he had been hiding. He claimed someone told him the courtroom wasn't safe, that there were eyes everywhere, that the hallway footage was recorded by accident, at the wrong time, in the wrong place. But the bombshell came when he said, the flash drive wasn't meant for the prosecution. Silence fell again. He continued, "It was meant for him." And he pointed straight at Durk. People screamed again. A deputy stumbled backward. The judge shouted for calm. But the second witness was unraveling, speaking faster and more desperately. He said he recorded the hallway video the night after the murder plot came together. He said he heard voices, footsteps, and something that sounded like an argument. He said he thought the camera was off. He said he didn't recognize one of the voices until months later. He said he didn't want to show the video because he didn't want to choose sides. And then he leaned forward and whispered into the mic. There were 3 people in that hallway, not 2. The internet melted. People fainted. Reporters ran outside screaming into microphones. TikTok went into apocalypse mode. But he wasn't done. He said the real reason he fled was because the video wasn't about the murder itself but about something that happened afterward, something the public didn't know, something he refused to describe because nobody would believe it. Prosecutors begged him to explain. The judge ordered him to clarify. But the witness just stared straight ahead, eyes red, face pale. Then he said, "If they show the full video, everything ends." The gallery screamed. Someone ran for the exit. A security guard drew his taser. It was chaos layered on top of chaos. But the witness suddenly went silent, shaking his head like he said too much. Then the court's emergency alarms went off. Shrill, violent, ear-splitting. Red lights flashed. Doors sealed automatically. The judge shouted for everyone to remain calm. The prosecution ducked behind the bench. The defense shielded themselves with binders. But Durk just sat there, expression unchanged, staring at the witness like he already knew what was coming. Security swarmed the courtroom as the building went into lockdown. A deputy grabbed the second witness to escort him out, but he resisted, shouting, "Check the countdown! Check the countdown!" When someone finally checked their phone, the courtroom swallowed their breath. 48 hours just changed. 3 minutes. The timer was accelerating in real time, counting down so fast it looked glitchy. People screamed. A juror threw up. Reporters ran for the exits, only to find the doors sealed shut. TikTok live streams went wild. The whole internet started watching as the timer hit 1:45, 1:21. The judge ordered all electronics confiscated. Too late. Millions of people were watching the countdown from inside and outside the courthouse. And then the second witness did the unthinkable. He shouted, "He's here!" Nobody knew who he meant. A guard grabbed him. He broke free. He pointed toward the back of the courtroom, and the power cut out again. Screams, shuffling, chaos, a thud, someone crying, someone yelling, "Find Durk!" Someone yelling, "Find the witness!" Phones flickered desperately, lighting the darkness with shaky beams. When the emergency power kicked back on, the second witness was gone. His chair was overturned. The side door was open. A trail of papers led into the hallway. And in the middle of the courtroom floor was a single object. A flash drive. Not the one from earlier. A new one. With a note taped to it that said, "This isn't the video you saw. This is the one they never wanted you to see." Reporters clawed toward it. Security snatched it. The judge sealed it as evidence. The internet exploded. But Durk? Durk finally moved. He stood up slowly, smiled, and whispered something to his lawyer that made her go pale. Because whatever was on that flash drive, it wasn't a confession. It was a warning. The countdown stopped at 0, and the anonymous account posted one final message. Next drop ends everything. No turning back. Then the account deleted itself. The courthouse was silent. The world was terrified. And nobody knew who the countdown was really meant for. If you're still here right now, after the flash drives, the countdown, the blackout, the disappearing witness, the courtroom chaos, the leaks, the shadows, the whispers, and the final message that promised the next drop ends everything, then you already know this story is way bigger than a trial. This is a living, breathing avalanche of secrets, betrayals, cover-ups, and digital hysteria barreling straight toward a point of no return. And when that next piece of footage hits the internet, because it will, the people who aren't locked in are going to be left standing in the dark while the whole world catches fire around them. So before the next blackout, before the next leak detonates, before the next witness comes out of hiding, before the next flash drive appears out of nowhere, you need to do the smartest thing you can do right now. Hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, and drop a comment telling me who you think took the witness, who you think planted that final drive, and what you think is really on the video the court tried to bury. Your theory might be the one that predicts the next twist before it hits. Don't wait, don't think, don't blink. The next update could drop in the middle of the night, and when it does, you're going to want to be here first, front row, watching the truth unravel in real time. Because after what we've just seen, missing the next part might be the most dangerous mistake of all.